Hello, friends. I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and welcome to my craft corner. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the 2023 January to April mini catalog launch party as much as I have been. There have been so many amazing ideas shared, and I know that there's tons more to come. So, don't worry, you're going to be able to go back and watch all the replays later because I know it's probably a little bit too much to take in at the time that they happen, right? I mean, that's a lot of hours to go straight. You do have to sleep occasionally. If you have not watched me before, my name is Heidi Collins. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I've been a demonstrator for about almost 4 years now. But I was also a demonstrator from 2008 or from 1998 to 2008. Get the dates backwards there. So for about 10 years. And then I took 10 years off. And then I came back, and I am so glad that I did because let me tell you, I missed crafting while I was away. The biggest question that I get asked is, what does the name Onigo mean? Where does that come from? Well, in addition to being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I also teach French. And Onigo is franglais, or a mix of French and English. The on y va means let's go, right? So onigo, it just means let's go. And that is my attitude towards crafting and stamping. Let's go. Let's jump in and do it. So that being said, onigo, let's get stamping. I'm going to go ahead and flip my cameras around so we can get started. Now, I'm excited to share with you. And I have all my stuff out, and I don't have the box of the stamp sets out. What was I thinking? I'm excited to share with you the Conversation Bubbles stamp set and coordinating dies. Now, isn't this stamp set amazing? I just love it. This jumped right off the page to me the absolute first time I looked at the catalog. I just think it's so much fun. And I have a really fun idea for a card to share with you. And then I have some additional samples too. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to set this aside because I already have the stamps out. Now, this does have coordinating dies, and let me grab, I have a sheet here. So here is what the dies look like. And I'm going to show you kind of side by side here. So here's the dies in the package, and here's the pieces they cut. What's really cool is all these dies like this, right? So it's going to cut that outside of the little conversation bubble, and it's going to cut an feature of this. All right, let's actually get started on our card, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and start putting the base of my card together. So I have a piece of Calypso Coral. This is 8.5 by 5.5, your usual card base size. Now, don't forget, you can get the tutorials for all of these cards by purchasing the tutorial bundle, and all the proceeds go to a really awesome cause. So then I have a piece of this is the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. This is a celebration item that you can get for free with a $100 order. So it's awesome. It's like my favorite thing in the celebration catalog. This is 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch. And I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue, some green glue, and this is going on a piece of balmy blue that is 3 7/8 inch by 5 1/8 inch. All right, so it's just going to give us a teeny tiny little sliver of a border there. And then I have this little piece of, another piece of the Dandy Designs. This is Mango Melody. It is 2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And we're going to adhere that one as well. So this is just going to go on the bottom. Kind of move this. I can't see quite. Make sure it's all lined up there. And then I have a third little piece that this is just 1/4 inch by 3 3/4 inches. And this is going to go right below where those two papers meet, just to give us a little bit extra color and texture on there. It's kind of like having ribbon on your card without having ribbon. That's just add a little thin sliver of pattern paper. So there's that. And this can just go right on our card base. All right, so we've kind of built the whole card front, and now we're going to add to it. So let me put this on here. Now I'm going to cut out with the dies. I'm going to go ahead and grab this die right here, one of the conversation bubbles. And I have another piece of the Designer Series paper. This is the Calypso Coral piece from that same set. And I have a little piece of the adhesive sheets because I want to use the outline to this. And it's pretty thin. I could use a fine tip glue pen instead, which I have done before with this set. But I decided we're going to make it super easy tonight. And I'm actually going to remember to use my adhesive sheets, which I always forget. Then I'm going to die cut this out. I'm going to use my mini machine. So I'm starting with my first plate, my number 1 plate, and then we're going to put on my cutting plate. All right. Then my piece of paper and my die. And then another number 2 plate right on top of this. And I'm going to put this through my mini cut and emboss machine. Now, don't forget, when you decide to join Stampin' Up during celebration, you can add a mini cut and emboss machine to your starter kit for half price. Isn't that awesome? And you can either get it in this white or you can get it in a new boho blue color that's only going to be available during celebration. So really awesome deal. Yeah, amazing deal. Plus, you know, you get an extra $50 in free product. So $175 in free product. Who could pass that up? All right, the piece I want is actually in the little dies. And of course, if you need any information on that, there's a link in the description to this video. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. So I have the outside piece right there. And then I pre-cut. Before I came on, I did the exact same thing with white. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the white from the center. We'll put these aside and save those for later. All right. Then I have another piece of Calypso Coral. We're going to do a little stamping. You think we should do some stamping? It is all about stamping, right? So maybe we should do a little bit of stamping. All right. So I'm just going to take my embossing buddy because we're going to emboss. I'm just going to rub that on there. I have my Versamark ink pad. And then I have the stamp that says, wow, wow, amazing. That's what I think this stamp set is. All right, and we're going to stamp that up there. And I forgot to grab a piece of scrap paper, but I got some right here, I think. So a little piece of scrap paper, and then I'm going to use white embossing powder on this. And don't forget, I have like 4 or 5 other cards to show you too. So, all right, knock that off. We're going to dump this in. Now, I probably should have embossed this before I started, but I didn't. So you're going to hear a little bit of a loud noise. But it's a pretty small image, so it shouldn't take us too long. So we're just going to zip, 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 zip. Watch that embossing powder melt. And now that says, wow, wow, amazing. Embossing powder is amazing, isn't it? All right. And I am missing a die. Oh, no, there it is. I was like, I'm not missing a die. No, it can't be true. I can't be missing a die. I always count my dies before I put them away because I find it's a lot easier to find my die if I notice that it's missing right away. If I try to come back later, I'll never find it. All right, we're going to line that up there. I'm going to grab some old washi tape that I have. I'm going to put a little piece of washi on this just to hold it in place. So there we go. And put my number 2 plate back on top. We're going to run this through the mini machine. All the pieces in this die set do fit through the mini machine. So the biggest piece will only fit one direction. But, all right. Roll that through. I always like to roll my pieces all the way through my machine. I find that it helps keep the plates flatter than if you go back and forth. So we'll just peel that off and peel this off. And there we go. Ooh. Wow, amazing. All right, let's put the card front together. So I have the basic white. I'm going to start by putting this down. I'm just putting this on with some of my green glue again. I always like to use the green glue because then If it's not quite in the right place, I can move it around just a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to kind of put that over that center line. This line is drawing our attention to that center spot, which is our main focal point of the card. Now I have the outside. I'm going to peel the back off that adhesive sheet that I put on there. And then this is going to go right around our conversation bubble, just like that. And it's got a fun embossing on there. You can't see it very well, but if you use a solid color, it shows up a little more. All right, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on my little wow piece. Just like this. We'll add that in there. Now, before I got started, I did do a little bit of stuff ahead of time. And I have, if I can pick them up because they're kind of small. All right, I have 3 of these little stars. Now, what is nice, the die set does have 2 stars, so you can cut 2 out at a time, which is always helpful. I love it when they do that. I think the same is true with the hearts in this one too. And this, I use the adhesive sheets on it too. So we're going to use these like embellishments, right? Let's put that up just a little bit. There we go. So instead of using rhinestones or something, I just cut out some little stars to add. All right, get the back off the 3rd one here. Oh, this is the only problem with the adhesive sheets. Sometimes the backs don't like to come off. All right, stick that one up there. There's our 3 little stars. Now let's come in to my favorite thing in the whole entire Stampin' Up catalog, a little wink of Stella. And I'm just going to color in the whole inside of this wow. And I know this doesn't show up that great on camera, but let me tell you, the sparkle really makes this card look fabulous. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to color these little stars. I probably should have done it before I put them on, but we'll just do it now. And try not to go off the edges. If we get a little extra sparkle, no big deal. So there we go. Let's do the inside. I have a piece of basic white. It is just 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You guys, if you could see all the things on my desk right now. So I have some Calypso Coral and some Mango Melody ink. I'm going to start with the Mango Melody. And I'm just going to stamp this little exclamation point on there. And then I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral. And I'm going to stamp the stamp that says, yay, in Calypso Coral. And then there's some little stars. And the dies do cut out these little stars, but I'm just going to add some stars. Just a cute little addition to the inside. So we'll add this to the inside, and then our card will be done. All right. Oops. So much fun. I tell you, I love the stamp set. I don't know, it's so cheery. Not cheery. I don't know, it's just contemporary and fun and different. So, all right, there is my completed card. Woo, pretty. And the inside. Let me show you my additional samples. Now, this one is with the same papers, and I did much of the same thing, but I added a whole bunch of this. So this took a lot longer because I cut a whole bunch of those out, and I stamped some pieces out and cut those out too. And then I lifted this wow up, and I lifted out the outside of this. So I cut like 3 of those die cut pieces. I cut a couple extras, and I just glued them all together and layered them up to add some more extra dimension. So those are those 2. They're kind of a pair. And then we got the same thing here. So here I used the Enjoy the Journey Designer Series paper, and I stamped all this with some Melon Mambo, just kind of the outlines and stuff. Not a lot of words. I wanted to keep it low on words and put love ya. So just a fun Valentine's Day card. Then I did kind of the same thing, but I reversed the colors. And this one, I used all the die cut pieces. So again, this took a little bit longer because I cut a whole bunch of die cut pieces and layered them on there. and then still added that love ya. And then here's some more with the Enjoy the Journey designer series paper. And this is just a really simple and quick one. Again, I lifted up that outside by layering about 3 pieces of 3 die cut pieces together, just glued them all together. And that just gives that a little bit extra lift to it. And then of course, you know, it's like, well, they're conversation bubbles. So let's actually use one with one of our cute critters. So this is the new, now I can't remember the name of the stamp set, Playing in the Rain, the new Playing in the Rain stamp set with the coordinating pattern paper that goes with that. And just colored him out and put him on there and then gave him that little conversation bubble with just the hearts in it. Oh, so cute. Just loving this set. So I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope that you will watch a lot more of these videos and enjoy all the great ideas for the new upcoming catalog. And if you have any questions, anything I can help you with, please let me know. Again, in the description to this video, you're going to find a link to pop over to my website where you're going to find photos of all these cards, as well as the supply list. And then, of course, you can get that whole tutorial bundle in the event on Facebook. So definitely want to grab that too. It's got a tutorial for the card I showed you in it tonight, as well as all the other cards that are being shown. Have a fabulous weekend.